Welcome to the Den Podcast. I'm Justin Perry. Here with our special guest, Chef Hayes. And today, y'all gonna learn about his cooking and what he does for our community at Crossover. How'd you get connected to Crossover?
So I got connected with Crossover through Philip Abode. He's a childhood friend of mine. We both grew up in Stillwater. When I moved to Tulsa, I gave him a call and asked him if I could do anything for Crossover. He asked me to coach football that year, and so that's what I did. Coach 7th grade football, and that's how I got started at Crossover. Philip Abode.
And that's also where I started my football journey, behind Hawthorne. So yeah, it was fun. Yeah, you said you chose cooking over sports experience, right? Can you talk about why?
Yeah, I chose cooking over sports because that's really where my heart is at. I started cooking with my mom in the kitchen when I was a kid. You know, she told me that was a skill that I needed to learn because she felt like anybody else in my life wasn't going to be able to cook like her, and so she wanted me to be able to do that for myself. So that's where I started cooking, in the kitchen with my mom, and then it turned not professional, but when I was 15, I got a job at Wendy's to get money to help me get a car. So I worked at Wendy's. That was my first job. 15. I made just enough money to get my car, and then I quit that job. And I didn't really get involved back in cooking until probably 2006, when I got a job at OSU Cowboy Dining in Stillwater, and that's really where my life changed.
Could you tell us more about your family background?
I'm originally from Oakland, California. That's where my parents are from. My mom went to the University of California in Berkeley. My dad went to the University of San Francisco, where he played basketball. My mom just went to school. They've been together since they were kids. And when they both had graduated college, they decided to move to Stillwater, Oklahoma. Because my dad got a job coaching at Langston, coaching basketball at Langston. And so moved to Stillwater. I have a sister and 2 brothers. And so I spent most of my life in Stillwater, Oklahoma. My sister lives in Sand Springs. My older brother lives in Wichita, and my younger brother lives in Stillwater. So most of my family still lives in Oakland, California. We're the only ones that are in Oklahoma, but Oklahoma is my place. That's where.
How has cooking changed your character over the years?
That's a tough question. So I had said earlier that I started cooking at OSU Cowboy Dining, and that's kind of where life had changed for me as far as my culinary life. But at the same time, my dad passed away, and so I immediately went to culinary school after he passed away. And so, went to culinary school at the Art Institute in Dallas. And then, so that's really where my life changed. My dad passed away, and I really just started focusing on the culinary aspect of life. Just getting my skills right. And when I left the culinary school, I went back to OSU Cowboy Dining. And I was there for probably 6 years, basically doing what I do here, just for the football, basketball, baseball teams at Oklahoma State. And so that's where my culinary life changed.
Yeah, I'm not too good of a cooker myself. I'm not even gonna lie. But you was the basketball coach. Mm-hmm. Could you explain that?
Yeah, so like I had said about my family, my dad played basketball at the University of San Francisco. And then we moved to Stillwater, and he was a basketball coach at Langston. So basketball has always just been a part of my life. grew up in the gym. I was a gym rat. Like, he was at Langston coaching when I was in the gym with him, every day. I went to college to play football though. So
Football.
right, so basketball was I played free safety. So basketball was in my heart, but I was just a better football player.
Oh.
So I started coaching football here. It was just a natural thing to do. But basketball was always just, something that I wanted to do. I didn't have an opportunity to coach basketball in my past. Crossover gave me that opportunity, but once again, I decided to focus on the kitchen and get away from the sports. I would say this, being a part of Crossover from the beginning, in a sense, watching kids go from 6th grade to graduating, it's been a huge blessing for me, watching kids that I, coached, watching kids just grow up as men, When they come as 6th graders, they're not men, they're kids, but then when they graduate, they're men. To watch that progression that's a huge thing for me. If I were to give any thoughts to, or any advice maybe to anybody out there, is find what you love early. Find what you love early. The longer you wait to find what you love, you get behind in life. You should be ahead of life opposed to behind it. If that makes sense.
Yeah,
you don't need to play catch up. You know what I mean? And so find what you love. And if you can't find what you love, that's a struggle for you, then you should think about it. Like, what do I really love to do? When I wake up in the morning, what is on my mind? What is driving me to do something? You know what I mean? And whatever that is, you push for it and you drive for it. That would be my advice. And also to just to bounce on top of that, people tell you sometimes that you have plenty of time to figure it out. Oh, you young. That's not true. You know what I mean? You are young. That's true. But you don't have plenty of time to figure it out. Some people get lucky and later in their life, they're the ones that get it together. But if I was to have some advice, I would tell, young men, try to grow up faster than you want to. It'll put you in a better place.
That's what I'm struggling with right now. Trying to find what I love.
Where you want to be in life.
Yeah.
No, it's a real struggle. No, I get the struggle. What do you want to do? How do you want to pay your bills? Those type of things that hit you in your face as a man. You have to attack that early on. Otherwise, you end up lost. In my opinion.
That's true, because I feel like I wasted my 9th and 10th grade years.
See what I'm saying?
I'm
you already
just
feel
young,
like
yeah.
you're behind a little bit.
I'm trying to play catch up, but yeah.
And it's sad that you already feel that way at your age. But the fact that you acknowledge that, you know that you gotta put your foot down and grind.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
can you share like a funny moment from like when all y'all was working in the kitchen? It was just
funny
like
moment. Man, there's a lot of them. To be honest, I can share 2. This is your regular, pan spray. So we had this sitting above the grill one day, and if it gets too hot, it explodes. And this thing shot off like a cannon one time in my kitchen. The whole thing exploded, sound like, for real, like a cannon. Everybody hit the ground. Nobody knew what happened. That was a funny moment. Another funny moment was, he was like showing like this. Like, this is a speed rack. Like, this is loaded up with food. Just rack to rack to rack to rack. I was working at OSU Cowboy Dining. We were pushing this across the street. The whole thing. Fed. Food everywhere. There's no saving that, but it's sad but funny at the same time. My favorite restaurant in Tulsa is Smoke.
Smoke.
To be honest. I like Smoke. They got good dishes. They a Mexican restaurant. I'm going Los Palminos on Sheridan. There it is.
Okay. This was Chef Faze and Justin Perry. Out.
Appreciate it.
Hey, Mr. Weaver, I'm not doing this again, okay?